Hello, everybody. Welcome. We are here looking at a commission that I have recently finished, and Gomez says hi, amongst other things, and he just wants attention right now. But anyway, this is the Ambassador class starship from Star Trek. I'm sure many of you know that it is from Star Trek, but hey, some people don't know Star Trek. I've actually had people walk up to me and say, "Ooh, is that from Star Wars?" Well, not this model kit, but other Star Trek models that I've built thinking that it was a Star Wars model. So, it happens. Not everyone's into every single franchise. So, this is sorry, let me get it in here. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of blocking the light a bit, but this is the USS Simon Fraser. And this is done mostly out of the box. And there's a few additions that I made to it that are kit bashed, I guess you could say. Add-ons. The decals, such as the name and the hull number and the lifeboat hatches, are from JBot decals and JT Graphics. Now the JBot decals are, focus this. There we go, the Simon Fraser, and the lifeboat hatches are from JBot. The phaser warning markings are from JT Graphics. The pennant is from JT Graphics. And the transporter emitters, both here on the aft and the saucer that I'll show later, are from JT Graphics. And let's go down here and get some light down here. There we go. And this pennant is, there we go. This pennant is a combination of JT Graphics, being the yellow chevron, and JBot decals, being the ship's name and hull number and pennant. Now, I really had fun building this. It's one of the best Star Trek models that AMT has made, because the saucer is its own section and it slides easily into the secondary hull, and then each warp nacelle has its own slotted tab that fits into the pylons here. So you can't put the engines on backwards and you can't put them on the wrong side. So this engine fits only in this pylon. This engine fits only in this pylon, which is really handy. You can build these things in 4 sections: saucer, secondary hull, and 2 warp nacelles. Paint them, decal them, get them all done in separate assemblies, and then when you're finished, let's get a little glare off there. When you're finished with each, then you can just glue them all in place. It's fantastic. It's one of the best designs that they've done. And then after they did the Enterprise C kit, then they made the Enterprise E, which is not as good. It's okay, but it's not as good. But it is definitely way better than the Galaxy class Enterprise D kit. But to be fair, the Enterprise kits from AMT are still leagues, 20,000 leagues better than the AMT Defiant kit, which nothing on that model kit even fits. The pieces don't even fit in with each other. Sorry about the wall. I just stood up to get myself some more light. So this was, oh yes, of course, one of the other things that I did with this. Okay. As those who know Star Trek will know, is the saucer section of the Ambassador class Enterprise C does not have impulse engines, which I think was an oversight. Granted, it was only made for one episode. It was never really going to be seen much more than that. But so it didn't matter exactly if the saucer had impulse engines. But for me, I think it should have impulse engines. So I added them. These are Galaxy class nacelles, impulse exhausts that I cut and put into place so that it still keeps the circular shape without sticking out funny at weird angles and just looking not, basically, so it doesn't look like it's not actually even supposed to be there. It looks like it's always been designed that way. And of course, the original impulse engine is the one in the center right there. That one is part of the Ambassador class always. And then the other little add-on that I did is this additional aft firing phaser. Now, the reason I have that is, yes, there are aft firing phasers there. However, if you are straight back and about here, those phasers on the upper saucer, come on, camera focus, those phasers on the upper saucer can't really get a good firing arc if necessary. So the phaser bank pointing directly aft can give a pretty good firing arc. And then, of course, underneath, come on. Yeah, it's wobbling. Sorry, stay still. There is, of course, a phaser bank that goes and covers the entire lower section of the ship. And, of course, let's just pop it off its stand. Come on, off the stand. Off the stand. There you go. Let's see. I have designed this way so that it's easy to take off the model. This is not glued in, and this part is not glued in. But you can pop it down there, and it easily goes into the hole. Might glue it in. It's not necessary, because either way it still slides out. This, wow, Gomez is just really demanding right now. This is a combination of the kit supplied stand with a craft store base. And I did this, well, the main reason I did this is because, well, the arching stand is pretty nice. And the other reason I did it is because the actual flat part of the base for the model kit says USS Enterprise C. So it doesn't work for any other Ambassador class. So, and it's a simple, let's just see if we can get, there we go. It's a simple base, being just a star field, but I like doing that because it puts the ship in its environment, in my opinion. And I like that. So let's get the light back up and move the stand and take a look at the underside. Okay. So this is the keel. And yes, as you can see, it does have, a pretty nice phaser firing arc. Again, nothing that fires aft, but, that's why I added the one up at least on the dorsal connector. Also, some of you might be able to notice that, there we go, on the right side of the screen, the black windows, the unlit windows, seem to be reflecting, and that's because they are. I, as well as painting each individual window, on this ship, lit and unlit, because some people are off duty, some people are asleep, some people are just, they turned off the light in their bathroom or their bedroom or whatever and went and did something else. So to me, it just makes the ship look more alive, like there's people on it, instead of just everything being all lit. People are on different duty shifts. But what I did was I painted all of the individual windows, and then I went in and used UV resin and placed UV resin in every single window to give it the appearance of transparent aluminum glass, for those who are not in the Star Trek know-how. And that went by a lot faster than painting the windows, surprisingly, because with the windows I had to count out, the windows, get a nice, relatively random pattern, but still stable, making sense. And then I had to go back and pick a different color. When I did the UV resin, it was just every window, every window, every window, every window. So, and I also added the UV resin to, you can't really see it, but I added it to the running lights and the, there's another name for the white lights, and I can't remember what it is at the moment, as well as for the planetary sensor. That also got the UV resin. The colors that I used are, first of all, before I do that, the reason that the windows are a little more noticeable as reflective is because I put down a gloss coat, then did the decals, and used decal set and then decal solvent to get so the solvent would just really adhere it down to the model on the gloss coat so that it looks painted on. And once all of that was dry, then I went back over with a gloss coat to blend everything together. And once that was cured, then I did 2 coats of matte finish. So then when I did put in the glass in the windows, those would shine and reflect more than if the ship was glossy and then I added glossy to the windows. It wouldn't stand out as much. I used to, long time ago, but early in my model building, I used to do the gloss coat, put the decals on, and then I went straight to a matte coat. And for a while, I didn't understand why I could see the decal film with the decals. It was silvering and it was shining and just looking really weird. And then I learned that what you need to do is, before you put a dull coat on, you put a gloss coat on, let it cure, then put the dull coat on, and that way everything looks, you don't see any decal film between the letters and numbers and all of that stuff. It just looks like it's all painted on. But it's kind of funny that it took me a while before I realized that. And so, of course, to me, the ships look a lot better. Going with gloss coat, then decal solvent, then gloss coat, and then 2 or 3 coats of matte finish. So the colors that I used, usually when you build the Enterprise C or any ambassador class, they say, okay, use shades of blue. And it's like the only ship in Star Trek that actually has shades of blue, which is goofy. Every other one has shades of gray or greenish gray, but it's still gray, not blues. So usually the colors that I use are light sea gray, dark sea gray, and either a camouflage gray or an aircraft gray. This time, the lightest color on here is Tamiya's aircraft gray USAF, United States Air Force. And the next dark color, or the next light color, is Tamiya's light ghost gray. And then the darkest color is Tamiya dark ghost gray. That's not normally the color scheme that I use. I haven't built an ambassador class for a couple of years, so I forgot that the colors that I used before were light sea gray and dark sea gray, not light ghost gray and dark ghost gray. So these kind of came out with a tinge of blue to them, and yet it is still gray. So I prefer the light sea gray and the dark sea gray because it's a nice set of grays, aggressive grays and things like that. But light ghost gray and dark ghost gray with the light aircraft gray actually makes a nice combination. I really like it. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this this little tour. Now I'm just kind of holding it. I realize this is not hugely professional because I'm holding my camera and I don't have a very good video shooting display, but I'm a model builder, not a photographer. Even though I do photograph my stuff. Come on, focus. Anyway, I have spoken with my client and informed him that the ship is finished, sent him a couple of quick snapshots, and yes, Gomez, and he said, bravo, out of the ballpark. You've done it again. And I am just grateful that he likes what I do. Oh, yes. And before I finish, I did inform him that I was going to put the impulse engines on the saucer and if that was okay with him. And it's like, I trust you. I love your builds. Do what you like, which is fantastic. When you've got a client who trusts you to do whatever you think will look good, it's so freeing. It offers so much creativity to occur. And I'm really grateful for that. I'm going to be putting this on. Hopefully I don't. There we go. And yeah, I'm actually going to glue that piece into there so that he just takes the whole little knob. The little black circle. Yeah, I'm going to glue that in there. That way it's just the glue circle goes onto this piece. So thank you all so much for joining me. Can't believe I forgot. I've got a few minutes left. Yes, I spoke with Rick Sternbach, the designer of the Ambassador class, the Enterprise C, and I asked him, why are there so many shield grid lines on this ship? The Enterprise A, the Enterprise B / Excelsior, the Enterprise D, and the Enterprise E do not have this many shield grid lines on it. Why does it? And he said, I don't know. I didn't draw it that way. As a matter of fact, here is my original studio drawing that I gave to the props department. And I saw it, and it has basically 23 grid lines, basically at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 11 o'clock, no, 5 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Anyway, it's in the shape of a clock, the hands on a clock, and then in between 1 and 2, there's a shield grid line. In between 2 and 3, but not this many. Not this many. There's only supposed to be about 12, not 12. There's supposed to be about 23, 24. Not this many. But the props department at the studio did all of these grid lines. And yeah, he doesn't know why. So that's a little bit of trivia. It's not supposed to have this many shield grid lines on the upper and lower part of the saucer. And I have seen the studio plans, and yeah, it's weird. So one of these days, I do hope to build one of these. Perhaps with the next commission, I'll ask him if it's okay if I do it. It's going to give me a lot more work because I have to fill in the vast majority of these grid lines, which is a lot of extra work. But I kind of want to see how this ship would look with the normal number of grid lines. So, yes, leaving on that little bit of trivia, I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you like what you saw. And if you did, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. And I usually do Fallout content, but I do also do model builds and or model tours of completed models that I've done, either for a commission or for myself. So thank you again for joining me. Remember, be excellent to each other and to yourself, and party on. Live long and prosper.